Hey, where we at anyway?
We're about to go do our interview.
I know we doing an interview. What city is this?
You know who he is.
This is like an old town.
It is. Oh, great.
Oh, snap, look.
This is who we interview. This.
We interviewing Kobe Bryant.
I mean.
We interviewing Kobe Bryant. How we doing that?
We gotta go.
We,
We gotta go. No. We're interviewing a legend. I'm not giving up no names. Just know he did this. He didn't do he did this. This is last shot.
So this is who we interviewing a dude that did this. And I ain't gonna even hold you. That's kind of dope. It's dope. And his name is Andrew Bernstein or Bernstein. Hey, man, I'm talking to you. Where you going? Where the hell you going?
You already late.
I need to know the full name. I need to know his name. What's his name? Is it Bernstein or Bernstein?
That's what we're gonna go find out.
Look.
Come on.
Because they don't say.
It doesn't.
Look,
There
man.
it is, right there.
Oh, it do say Mirror inspired by
Why you giving
Andrew
up
D.
the-
Bernstein. Okay. Oh, my fault.
We gotta.
I figured it out. I told you. I am smart. I'm gone. Peace. I'm gone. G-Wayne with my guy TC Buff. Right.
My man right here, check it out. Guess who it is? Dancing who? Hey, baby. Hey, we live, baby. It's your man Kevin Tate right here. We here rocking with that well on. Elevator Game with G-Wayne. Right here. I'm Taj Reed. You're watching Elevator Game with G-Wayne.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Elevated Game with your host, G. Wayne, me. And guess what? I'm here with another exciting legend because that's all I do is work with legends. So I just got to bring back legends all the time. This legend, I'm pretty sure if you ain't seen his work, something wrong with you because it went from childhood to adulthood. You probably seen his work on magazines, even on a freaking card. When I say card, I'm talking about like baseball cards, basketball cards, hockey cards, boxing cards, all the above. This legend right here shoots other legends. And let me get over here to show you who I'm talking about right now. My man, Andrew Bernstein.
Come
Hello,
in.
hello.
G-Wayne, what's
Hey,
up,
hey,
man?
my guy.
See you, man.
Mr. Andy, how you doing, brother?
I'm great. Great, thanks for coming all the way out here, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, the drive was okay. You know, I thought it was going to be a little traffic, LA.
Yeah, it's the weekend. It's all right.
So this is the spot.
Yeah, this is it.
This is where all the magic happens.
Well, magic happens somewhere else, but it ends up over here.
Hey, I see Magic Johnson's over there, so
Magic's
literally
over
magic.
there, yeah. But this has been our office for about 8 years. Previously, I was inside what was then Staples Center. Before that, I was in a garage.
Wait, hold on. Did they kick you out of the Staples Center?
They didn't, actually. I wanted to get out because I was spending my whole life there. It was
Oh, so you had a
9
mattress
o'clock
on
in
the
the morning,
side.
all day in the office, downstairs for games, missing my kids growing up. So I thought, and this is close to home here. So
The family time. So I
Yeah.
do get that family first. You got to have it because if you don't, the time goes by fast.
Exactly.
So I get that.
Yeah.
So you made the big move to over here.
Yeah.
And how do you like from being over here from versus there with all the excitement that's over there?
Well, this kind of centers myself during the day. So I live about 1.5 miles from here. So I'm able to ride my bike over here. I can take my daughter to school, pick her up after school. But we get a lot of work done in here. And then, I put on my NBA hat and I head downtown and I get ready for a game. If it's a Laker game, Clipper game, Kings game, hockey, we do that too. We do all the events in the arena. So we're busy.
Did you hear that? He has access to all the sports, every last one in the Staples Center, even concerts.
All concerts, anything that happens down there. There's been about 6,000 events since we opened in 1999.
So you're saving not only gas and time. I like that. You don't even have to have an electrical vehicle right there. Okay, so family's everything, and of course, peace of mind.
Oh, absolutely, man. Peace of mind, serenity. Got to have a little bit of that before I head downtown for the chaos that goes on down at the arena.
The chaos.
Yeah.
That might be some good chaos. I don't know.
No, it's all good. That's been my life. But hey, let me show you some stuff, man.
All right,
Come on.
let me see what we got going on here. Okay, so what's this room?
So, G, this is where we keep what's known as the 4-letter word that starts with F.
Oh, this is kind of, it's not that kind of channel here, Andy.
No, come on. Guess.
Yes.
Looks like this. It's film.
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 Film. Hey, this dude right here. Hey. Because I thought he was talking about foul, Foul, foul.
I'm sure that's what everybody thought I was talking about. So this is film from back in the day, man. Like more than half my career was shot on film.
Wow.
So we have to go through old film. Film is housed in these filing cabinets. It's all film inside of here, right?
So you
It's
still
all
have some
slide
stuff
tape.
in here from the 90s, 80s?
Yes, we went full digital around 2004. So, I started shooting in 1980. So, that's almost 25 years of just film. So think of Kobe's career, half of his career was shot on film. So it makes life a little bit complicated.
It's a little antique-ish.
Yeah.
A little antique-ish, but it seems like it could be worth a lot of money.
Well, that remains to be seen. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope. We got some ideas for that too.
What's up with this picture back here? This the Olympics, the Dream Team.
This is one of my prized possessions, quite frankly. So I was embedded with the Dream Team. I was the only photographer with the Dream Team all 7 weeks of from training camp through the Tournament of the Americas, Monaco, and then of course Barcelona. And we got to the end of training camp in Monaco, and USA Basketball made these posters, right? So they gave them out to all of us, the staff, and we all went around to the players at breakfast. And the last day in Monaco, we're flying out to Barcelona for the Olympics. And everybody's signing them, the coaches, everybody. One guy wouldn't sign it.
Oh,
couldn't
snap.
find the
Who
one
was
guy.
it?
Who do you think it could possibly be?
Don't tell me. I mean, like, out of all these, who would have been the dickhead?
Right. So we were on a search and destroy mission.
Don't tell me it was Jordan.
It was.
Don't tell me it was Jordan.
Mr. Jordan himself.
Damn.
We found him in the training room. He was getting taped up, right? And he's on the table. I'll never forget it. My friend Nat Butler and I, the other photographer, we walk in there. We got our little posters, like little kids, right? We got our little posters. And Michael's on the table, and he looks over at us, and he sees it. It's all signed, right, except for him. He goes, "That ain't worth shit until I sign it, right?"
Oh, snap. So forget the other Olympics. So the Olympians, it's all about me.
Right. So we said, "Yes, that's correct, Mr. Jordan, sir." And he said, "Bring it over here." And he signed it. It was great.
I would have been saying the same thing. You know what? Absolutely. Until you sign it, it ain't nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Sign away.
No,
Thank you very much.
Mike just used to like to pull people's chains, but it was definitely a moment to get that signed by all the guys. So
that's dope.
One of my prized possessions for sure.
Okay, so I gotta ask this: the Dream Team. Who do you think was better if they matched head to head? What's that one with Kobe Bryant?
Redeem Team.
The Redeem Team.
2008. Yeah.
Who
Well, that was a great team, the Redeem Team. LeBron, young D Wade, veteran Kobe.
Boom.
But I got to give it to the Dream Team. First of all, you got, Magic and Bird. Of course, Bird was not the Larry Bird that we knew because he was injured.
Right, the back.
But, you got any team that's got Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson on it, and you got two incredible centers with Ewing and David Robinson. Let's not forget
Facts.
Barkley and Karl Malone. These guys
Forwards.
were, they
nasty.
beat teams by an average of 40, 45 points in the Olympics.
But could you say back then the overseas teams wasn't well experienced and diverse as they are now?
Yeah, but I think they get a short shrift because the European teams especially were pretty good. The Spanish team was good. I remember Brazil had a great team, as I remember. I think the German team was pretty decent. But they had this mystique about them, the Dream Team, that we all carry with us. It would have been an interesting matchup, that's for sure.
Well, you think it would have been a blowout, or it would have been close, or because you got Jordan here, but you got a Jordan replica, Kobe Bryant.
I would have paid money to see MJ and Kobe go at it one-on-one.
And Kobe, you think Kobe would have been like this?
I think we would have seen a little bit of a mirror image of Michael.
Right. They're going back and forth, bat. That would have been great.
It's a tough one. That could be a game-winning shot at the buzzer. Who knows?
Oh yeah. I think I give it that. That's what I think it would have happened.
Yeah.
It would have been between Jordan and Kobe taking that game-winning shot.
Right.
I got to know about this picture right here.
Which one?
Okay.
Gretzky?
This Gretzky picture. Now get a look at this right here.
Yeah.
The shot is so close. Either you had great seats or your camera was right.
Yeah.
You got the nice right behind the butt cheeks. I don't know what's going on, but you was right. It seemed like you was on the ice.
Well, it's interesting you ask that because this is a picture of mine that doesn't get a lot of attention, quite honestly. But when Gretzky came to L.A., what was that, 91 or 92?
To 92, yeah.
It was the biggest trade in the history of sports,
Right.
bar none. And I needed to make a picture that sort of said Gretzky is in L.A., like welcome to L.A. And, we couldn't do it outside the Forum. It was just not going to happen. So I had to do it in the Forum. What was iconic about the Forum, like Madison Square Garden, is that the Forum had that great ceiling, right, and scoreboard. So you look at it, that's the Forum. And I wanted it to be like Gretzky is entering or comes to LA. So I for a couple of games, I was right there as the team comes out onto the ice, from the entrance. With a fisheye lens, I'm probably this close to him.
So you was close.
I was right on his hip.
See, I knew it. Hey, Corey, you owe me $1. Corey owes me $1. She said no, he had a good film.
It's kind of a one-shot deal because he's got to, be framed correctly. He's got to be in focus, and I only get one shot because I'm using this crazy flash system. I did it for a couple of games and finally got it. I think on the third game. I think.
So it took you 3 games to master that shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that picture because very, very rarely, and I teach this all the time, that just don't shoot people's backs. Nobody wants to see backs. Backs and backgrounds are a photographer's nightmare. But this happens to work because he's the iconic 99.
Right.
He's got the jersey, tucked up
on
the pants, which nobody else did. And it's the iconic Forum. So for one time, backs work. So this is kind of the same idea. It was the same lens, fisheye lens, literally 6 or 8 inches away from these guys. And you can see all the other photographers trying to get the shot.
Right.
But,
my man even got a cell phone out there.
And what's great about this picture is that that's KD's mom right there.
That's what I told the cameraman.
Which I love. I love that. And I sent it to him. I sent it to his mom.
Wait, hold on. You sent it to him?
I sent it to him, yeah. And his mom loves this picture. So, that warms my heart more than anything else when it means something to the athlete.
Right.
Like Michael Jordan's holding the trophy for the first time with his dad. That meant a lot to Michael, I know. So, that's an extra added bonus for me when that happens.
Right. So you capturing the moment, the feeling, and the whole excitement. And it's like telling a story.
Yeah. By the way, and it's history. It's NBA history.
Yeah, that's his first one he won, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a great
After
moment.
he said, I don't want to trade. I want to get it where I'm at. I
Yeah.
don't want to join no super team. And he did it.
Yeah.
And then he got the ring.
Right.
And you was right there to capture it.
Yeah.
He said, you're about 8 feet away. So you getting all the sweat, all the...
Everything.
All right.
Everything, yeah.
That's crazy. All the confetti coming down.
Right, then you go in the locker room and you're getting doused with champagne.
So they even doused you with champagne?
Yeah. No, it's
Everybody gets
every
it.
man for himself in the locker room.
Every man for themselves.
Yeah.
All right. So, Andy, I read somewhere that Jerry Buss gave you your first shot. Is that true?
Kind of vicariously, yes. I mean, the Laker organization, which is part of California sports. California sports ran the Forum, so anything that happened in the Forum back in the days, Lakers, Kings, and then all the different sports that happened. We had everything from volleyball to indoor tennis to indoor soccer. And wasn't Dr. Buss himself, but Lon Rosen, Blaine Skinner,
Okay.
all the crew from back in the day. Yeah, they kind of, and of course Jeannie and I kind of grew up there together.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say you had a relationship with Jeannie?
No. I
That
had,
was
Jeannie was always very supportive.
Oh,
of me.
wait. She's what kind of way was she supporting you, man? What kind of way was she supporting you?
She was very supportive of my career.
Oh, okay.
And
I
appreciated the photography that I was able to give. You're killing me on this.
I mean, because you longevities, you've been around for a long time, so I was wanting to know how was he able to do it?
Right.
But no, this is all jokes.
Yeah.
How is it working with Jerry Buss and his kids? Was it like cool? Did he treat you like one of his kids?
Dr. Buss was always, I didn't see him that much. I mean, he made it a habit of not coming to practice, and the times when I was at Laker practice and Dr. Buss was there, you knew something was going on.
Oh, snap.
Because he didn't like to be kind of, the hands-on owner.
Okay.
That was kind of, he came when he needed to come.
Right.
Jerry West ran that team, Mitch Kupchak, of course. But I had kind of a funny story. When I started doing the Lakers team photos, and every year, it'd be in the gym, and it's pretty set up. Setup's the same every year, the players and the coach. And Dr. Buss would always come in, and every single year he'd come up to me and tap me on the shoulder and say, "Andy, where do you want me to sit this year?" And I'm like, I think in the middle, Dr. Buss, you are the owner. Please hold the ball. You know?
Right. You know, he knew where he was supposed to
Yeah,
be
he
at in
knew.
the middle.
Exactly.
The money man.
Right.
That's crazy. Speaking of that, you said you started in the 90s.
I started in the
You
80s.
started in the 80s.
Yeah, my first year of shooting professionally was 1980.
1980. So you've seen a couple of eras.
Yeah.
Which era would you say is your best one?
Ooh.
You had the most fun and you had the best relationship with some of the athletes and whatnot.
Wow, that's a great question. I came in at the end of sort of the Kareem Dr. J era, right?
Kareem Dr. J,
And then, of course, I had all the Showtime. And that was an amazing time, the 80s. You know, the Magic Bird era, Lakers Celtics rivalry. You know, basically my rookie year was Magic's second year. So, you know, if it wasn't for
So
Magic,
y'all was almost both rookies.
yeah, pretty much. If it wasn't for Magic and Pat Riley and Jerry West, like sort of putting up with this sort of aggressive pain in the butt kid who was always like trying to get in the huddle or trying to get in the locker room or whatever it was, we wouldn't be sitting here today. So I really thank them for that and helping me with that confidence. I guess they saw something in me that, you know, I guess was valuable to the team. I was able to produce some photography to document. But then, of course, we went into, you know, Showtime went into the Jordan era and 6 championships. I was there for every championship. And as we kind of got out of the Jordan era, of course, it was in, you know, the Shaq era, and then Shaq and Kobe, Kobe by himself. And then Kobe retires. And, of course, we're in the LeBron, Steph Curry era and Durant. And
So what you're telling me is you a switch hitter.
yeah.
You switching team to teams is what he's telling us.
Possibly,
Which
yeah.
one is your team?
You know, I would probably have to go with the Kobe era, that 20 years that sort of went from, you know, being with Shaq and then
Shaq
being on
and
his
Kobe
own.
era, okay.
I mean, you know, to have a subject as a photographer, to have a subject like Kobe in front of your lens for 20 years with the same team. First of all, it'll never happen again in any sport, as we know, because contracts are the way they are, and players will not be with the same team
gone
for 20
tomorrow.
years. So that in itself was a monumental sort of gift from above to have this incredible athlete. And then we bonded immediately from when we first met, and there was a lot of trust there. And, you know, I was very proud to have taken his very first picture as a Laker and his very last picture as a Laker, and probably almost 1 million pictures in between during that 20 years.
So you saying Kobe actually talked to you?
He did talk to me, yes.
He didn't do you like, what was it, Smush Parker? He said his accolades didn't match. He didn't talk to me, so yours was up there.
He was really respectful. When I met Kobe in 1996, you know, he was a wild-eyed rookie. He just turned 18 years old. And here he is, you know, boy among men, Lakers Media Day. And, you know, Media Day is a very daunting thing for a young player, especially his age. And they have to come in as a team and go from one station to the next, to the next, to the next. And he finally gets to my station where I have my, you know, backdrop set up for a headshot and some portraits. And like any new player, I'll go up to him and like anybody, and out of respect before taking the picture, I put my hand in. I say, "Hey, Kobe, I'm Andy Bernstein. I'm your team photographer." And the kid looks me right in the eye and he goes, "Well, I know who you are, man." And I'm thinking, you know, that's a really smart ass thing for this kid to say, because, but I didn't say that. I said, I looked at him and was still shaking hands. He looked at me in the eye and I said, "Well, I don't know how that's possible because we never met." And he says, "Well, I had all your posters in my room growing up."
Oh.
So if you break that down, first of all, look at the moment, Media Day, very, you know, crazy, stressful moment for both of us. But here's a kid who looked and studied the posters down to the photo credit, which literally you need a magnifying glass to see. The only people who look at a photo credit on a poster are our fellow photographers, because we're all jealous.
right.
We're all jealous that you
who
got
got
that
this shot? Who did this?
Exactly. So I found out later, and as we started to do our book together, that he studied everything. And he was, you know, at that time, 20 years younger than me, and I was 38, he was 18. I'd been in the league 13 years by that point, and he kind of knew my history and respect that I had earned from the Laker organization and the loyalty. So moving into that with him, as long as I didn't mess it up,
cool.
was kind of my reason for living, and we just had this phenomenal relationship where I was, he respected me in my craft. Of course, I respected him in his craft, and we were both obsessed. We were both crazy obsessed with what we do. That's the first pillar of the Mamba mentality is obsession.
He respected your worth ethic then, huh?
Yeah, and
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got that Mamba mentality.
yes, for sure. And even before the Mamba mentality was a thing, he and I had this kind of game going, this sort of mind game, like who would get to the arena first on a game night.
Oh, snap. What
Whether
time was it?
on the road or if at home, I won every single time.
Wait, so you guys hear this? This is the only person in the world
Yeah.
that I've known to beat
Yes.
Kobe, beating him at the arena for a workout. What time did you get there?
I would get to the arena at 11 o'clock in the morning for a 7:30 game, if it was home or away, because I knew that the kid would be coming in at 1 o'clock to start shooting. So, of course, I wanted to be there to get him walking in,
Capture
get him
all
doing
those
his pregame
moments.
rituals, doing his shooting. So it was a funny game because he'd come in and he'd like nod at me. And I knew it pissed him off because he wanted to beat me, but he never beat me.
If you're showing up at 11 and the game is at 7, I don't think anybody's going to beat you there.
Especially on the road, because the road it would take 5 hours to set up the camera system that we do on the road. So my assistant and I would always get there right after shoot around, or right after the home team shoots, and then the visiting team had already left. Then they come back for the game. We'd already be there, pretty much done with our setup.
Ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So our little setup, it took us about 30 minutes to do
Yeah.
that. That wasn't nothing. You said it take them 5 hours to do this setup. You hear that, Derek?
yeah.
You doing all right, man? Because you was about to get fired, all right? Okay? You got us sitting here 35 minutes waiting for you to set 3 cameras up. They got 20, all right? You're lucky. But moving on along, so you was in the 90s, man, and the 90s was a good era, the Dream Team, of course, and also something crazy, wild that happened with the Lakers. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite players retiring from, announcing that he had HIV. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How did that affect your work with Magic?
Well, it was shocking. I mean, we all were taken by surprise, obviously. I had just been with the Lakers in Paris. They had played in the McDonald's championship, and he was fine. I mean, we, played the tournament, came home. Then I was called by the NBA to go to Salt Lake City to be with Commissioner Stern because he was going to do a press conference to announce that the All-Star game was going to be, I think not that year, but the year after was going to be in Salt Lake City in Utah. They were going to be the host city. So they wanted me there to photograph that. All of a sudden I get a call. It had to be around 10:30, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning from Brian McIntyre in my hotel room. You didn't have cell phones then or any of that. We had beepers. He
Remember the pager days.
He said, get down to the lobby. We're going to L.A. right now. And the press conference hadn't happened yet. And, yeah, my stuff out and everything. And I said, Brian, I don't know if I can do that. He goes, you got to be down literally in like 2 minutes because we're flying to L.A. And I thought, I didn't know what to think. And I didn't make it. I just couldn't pack everything up. And there was no flight that was going that would get me there in time. So I called my assistant at the time, John Suhu. I said, you got to get over to the forum. There's something going on. There's a press conference. And John covered that whole thing. Okay. And I actually got on the next flight, raced to the forum from LAX, and got there. The whole thing had ended already. But I obviously had heard about what was going on. It was beyond shocking.
Did you see his demeanor change as a person? Because you've seen him when he came in his rookie year, obviously.
Yeah.
And then obviously when he was on his way out, at a early, I thought it was early, retirement.
Yeah.
Did you see like any his mood change around you guys?
Well, we all, this is the beginning of AIDS and HIV, and we all thought it was a death sentence. I mean, this happened in beginning of November, and the consensus was that he would be gone by Christmas, honestly. I mean, we just didn't think that he would survive. Who survives that diagnosis? And there was so much misinformation. There was a lot of disinformation. There wasn't a lot known. It was like very reminiscent of the beginning of COVID, when we didn't really know like how serious
Right.
it was. Of course,
How
we
you
were
get
hearing
it.
from the White House that it was like the flu, and like tens of thousands of people are dying every day, right? So it was, we all collectively, all of us in the media, all of us around the team, we all just had to resign ourselves to the fact that we might not be seeing him for very long. And, I was close with Cookie and his family, and it was just very, very difficult. And of course, thank God we still have, the great Irvin Magic Johnson, who's become a champion for AIDS and HIV and has raised hundreds of millions of dollars and awareness and almost single-handedly changed the narrative about the disease, which is incredible.
Right. Survived it.
Yeah.
No trace of it.
Right.
Things that make you say, hmm.
Well, thank God he's still here, and everything he's done in business and for the community, and just having him around.
Absolutely.
I love seeing him.
I used to go to the Magic Johnson Theater. Hey, shout out to Magic Johnson Theater out there.
Yeah, on
Derek
Crenshaw.
probably know. Yeah.
I was there for the opening.
Were you?
Yes, of course.
Man, only thing that I didn't like about back in the day going to Magic Johnson Theater was I couldn't wear a hat, man, and because it was like they consider that gang related back in the
No
day.
way, really?
Yeah, you take off them hats.
Yeah.
It's gang related. You remember that, Derek? Gang related, and I'm like, man, this match my outfit.
Yeah.
Hey, my hair, I need a haircut, man. But all the girls was there, so all the hottest movies was there, and it was right across the street from a mall as well.
Right. You remember that big mural that was in the lobby?
Yeah.
That was made from my photos. They asked for,
What?
and somebody made that beautiful mural. Yeah.
I never would have thought, and I would never see. We got to start being more Kobe minded. Kobe, not only dissected or just looked at the moment of that. He looked at the little bitty words. Like you said, you couldn't even read it.
Yeah.
The fine print.
Yeah.
Who does that? I wasn't doing it.
Mamba he did that. The young Mamba.
He said Bernstein. I'm like, Bernstein. That sounds familiar. That's the guy with the bears.
Right.
Made the bears in the book guy, right? That's what I would have thought. But he knew exactly who you was.
Yeah, it was really something.
That's an honor. I gotta talk about this picture right here because that's like iconic right here. That's like his signature move.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this was interesting because this was February 6, 2020. Kobe had just passed, 2 weeks earlier, and we were all under a cloud of just tremendous grief. The Lakers canceled the game right after that, and everybody had to get back to work, and this was just a moment captured that there's been a lot of theories about LeBron channeling Kobe in that split second, doing the same dunk on the same basket in the same arena that Kobe had done years before. I don't particularly prescribe to that theory, but it's a nice thing to think about, and it's a dunk that I honestly had never seen LeBron do, this dunk where he had the ball down low on his hip with his legs scissored like that, and then came up and dunked it. And I have literally a millisecond to figure out when to shoot this picture. I'm actually in the picture. I'm on the other side of the court under the other basket.
So you didn't shoot this one?
I shot it. I triggered it
Okay.
with a remote trigger button. On the opposite side of the court is where all our remote cameras are. This is
Wow.
part of a remote system of cameras, of 7 or 8 cameras that
Didn't
are
know
set
they
up.
even had remote cameras that he can just
Yep.
technology.
Yeah. That was all born out of Michael Jordan dunking and not being able to sell more than one picture. The NBA could only sell one picture from that dunk to one entity. So we at NBA Photos helped to invent this system of multiple cameras that could be fired at the same exact moment in time, but from different angles, so that you could sell the same moment, but it's not the same picture, to even competing entities, different poster companies, different magazine covers, different trading card companies. So we've perfected that over the years, and this is the system I do every single game.
Wow, that's amazing. I heard you say trading cards. So some of your pictures ends up on cards.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I want to get this on record real quick. I lost my my Michael Jordan rookie card, so I'm here with the inventor. He can put it right back, and I'm a millionaire instantly. You know what I mean?
That would be nice.
Let's get the money. Let's get it.
Yeah. I don't think that the card you're talking about, I didn't take that picture because that rookie card I think was shot
take that
in New Jersey. The one you're talking about, I think it was Fleer or Tops or somebody.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think it was. I think
Yeah.
it was Tops.
Yeah.
Man, I remember.
But it's kind of cool. I mean, when I first started, trading cards were really the only major licensee that the NBA had. They had one poster company, I think, one trading card company. There were no apparel companies, magazines were few and far between.
Right.
So it's kind of almost the reason for living back then was to
Heck
produce
yeah.
photos for trading cards.
I used to love that. I used to have my mom buy me a box of them.
Yeah.
Like, because I got to get the rookie ones. I got to get, the Charles Barkley's, the Trailblazers. Who was it?
All that stuff.
Clyde Drexler.
Glide,
I'm
sure.
like, man, I got to get these, and I still got them to this day. So I might see if I can cash.
That's
these in
worth some
or
money,
something.
man. I'll tell you, they are. They're in good condition.
Oh yeah, I definitely put them in a plastic zip.
Yeah.
They tie it up. They probably they in the garage somewhere. I gotta look them up.
My mom threw away my entire baseball card collection.
I know she didn't.
May she rest in peace. I love her dearly.
No, she didn't.
That ticked me off. I came home from college my freshman year. I'm like, where's my cards? She says, oh, you didn't need those anymore.
They're old. You outgrew those like they're Barbie dolls or something.
Literally threw them all out.
Wow, Mom, you just threw him. You just threw your son a millionaire
Yeah.
away, Mom.
That's that's your grandchildren's future right there.
Right. Retirement.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta know. You was there for Shaq and Kobe. Was there really real beef?
The beginning, they were fine. They gelled. They bought into Phil Jackson's system. Winning kind of sometimes brings on some ego things, and the young Kobe was very impatient with his teammates. Kobe felt like that he had to push his teammates to be as great as he was, which is impossible. I mean, even at 18, 19, 20 years old, these guys could never be as great as he was. Shaq and Kobe had to work at it since, he was 8 years old. Shaq was just born with this innate, incredible, dominant force of a body and was unstoppable out there on the court. He didn't really have to work on his game. And that's where the rift sort of started. Like that Kobe could constantly, even after one championship, two championships, he still was working on his game. Shaq was a different kind of dude.
He was eating. That's what Shaq was doing. Shaq, if you see this, we know what you was doing. You was eating. My man Andy saw it all. He took pictures of you eating, man. Okay? We got him. They in the files over here. All right?
But I have to say, they were two different guys from two different upbringings, two different personalities, right?
Okay.
But when that ball went up for 48 minutes, they were brothers in the trenches. I mean, they had each other's back. They were the most formidable 1-2 punch in the history of the NBA. With all due respect to Michael and Scotty.
That's what I was just about to ask you.
And a couple others out there, but I never saw like Elgin and Jerry West play, or Wilt and Jerry, but these two guys were just unstoppable. And they knew it. And that's why they won 3 championships together.
They should have won more.
They could have, and they should have. And I think both of them admitted that. Even Phil Jackson admitted that they could have won more. So it wasn't meant to be, but we had 3, and that's still something to hang your hat on.
Better than nothing.
Exactly.
Because I know some people, Clippers, that don't have any, don't at hope. But, this season it might be different, Hopefully they all stay healthy.
Yeah.
You know.
What would be interesting is if the Clippers won a championship as they're walking out the door at Crypto.com Arena.
Finally got one.
That would be interesting.
On the way out.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it in our new gym. That'll be crazy.
That'd be pretty dope.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I see Oscar over here. So how did you get into boxing? So you went from taking flicks with NBA players, hockey, of course. We talked about Gracie. How did you get into the boxing?
Well, as a young photographer, I was shooting everything. I mean, you name a sport, I had probably shot it, just trying to build my portfolio, getting credentials to shoot things, showing magazines like Sports Illustrated. I was capable of shooting different kinds of sports. I always loved shooting boxing. But this particular relationship started during the whole Dream Team experience when we were in Barcelona. It just so happened that the off nights that the Dream Team wasn't playing basketball, Oscar happened to be fighting. And there were a couple of guys on the team, Karl Malone, I think Scotty, maybe a couple of trainers who loved boxing. So I would tag along, I always did, with my camera. And we'd go to the boxing venue, And after a couple of Oscar fights, he would come up into the stands and sit with us, after a match.
With the fans.
Yeah. And, fans, the stands would clear out, and the Dream Team guys had, like, nice seats, obviously. And Oscar, I remember him, like, climbing over the seats to come and, like, sit with Carl and talk to him. And I have a couple of pictures of that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I got to be friends with his publicist, and they wanted pictures, obviously, from that. And when he announced that he was going pro, Oscar, of course, from L.A., and they needed a photographer, so, I was the guy.
You was right there.
I was.
Willing, ready, and able, and got hired because you put in the work and you built a relationship.
That's right. It's all about relationships and loyalty, and you got to produce the work, obviously. And I had a great relationship with Oscar. I loved going to the fights. I love the atmosphere, being ringside, all that stuff was awesome.
The blood, sweat, and tears, you right there for it.
Yeah.
But what happened with the relationship?
Well, I think Oscar decided to sort of circle the wagons a little bit, and
Circle the wagons. What are you
trying to
saying?
be polite. Oscar's from East LA, and I think there was some friends of his and family that needed some work.
Oh, okay.
So,
So he said, bye.
my Spanish wasn't that good in those days, so,
So you wasn't bilingual?
I was not bilingual.
Man, so wait, so they kicked you to they said, hey, my man right here, I thought the whole time he was bilingual. He's not. Get him out of here.
I don't know if that was the exact reason, but the relationship ended fine, and I still see him from time to time. I still see his people.
You be like, you fired me. I ain't forgot, man. That's what we do. We started from the ground, man.
Yeah, that's right.
This is like, okay, Oscar.
Yeah.
I'm a better man because of you right now, though.
That actually could be true.
See? No hard feelings.
No.
You know what time it is right now?
Winning time? I don't know. What time
Hey,
is
you
it?
know what? How do you feel about the winning time, though? I'm upset that they canceled that show.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there was some backlash about, how accurate it was. And we all know it was a biopic. It was not a documentary in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know what that third season would have been, because I don't know how they could possibly have done anything that involved Shaq and Kobe, especially with Kobe. I think that would have been sacrilege, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But, I enjoyed it for what it was. There were moments where I was scratching my head, and there was moments that ticked me off. How they portrayed my dear friend Jerry West, I thought was unfair.
Yeah, I heard he was trying to actually sue because of that.
Yeah,
and a monster, a little maniac.
And private conversations that no one had access to. Pat and Chris Riley having a conversation in their house. Like, how does anyone know what that was about, right? And it was for what it was entertainment. For those of us who were there and lived through it, it was a little cringeworthy, quite frankly. I liked how it was filmed. I liked the fact they used like 3 different ways of filming, make it look sort of old school. It was kind of accurate in terms of the art direction, and you felt almost like you were in the Forum sometimes,
Right.
I thought John C. Reilly was terrific. I really did, as Dr. Buss. But yeah, I know all the players involved, everybody from the front office to the players to the trainers to the PR directors. So, I'm glad it ended after 2 seasons.
Oh, so you're glad it's over with. Thank you very much. I'm glad it's over with. Man, you can't hate on them like that.
Well, I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying, 2 seasons, good enough.
Good enough, huh?
And
let's
move on.
How did you like the guy that played Magic?
I thought he was pretty good. It's a tough role to play. Magic has this charisma that's really unique. I mean, I thought he had the smile almost down,
Right.
I thought the action sequences were interesting. I thought the casting was decent. There was some that were not good at all. I mean,
What about the Cookie? 'Cause Magic and Cookie personally.
Yeah, look, again, I wasn't behind the scenes with them. I wasn't privy to their private conversations, and none of us were. Only they were.
Did she look like Cookie? Did she act like Cookie?
I didn't know Cookie that back then, in those days, the early days, so it's hard to say.
Because the funny thing is, your boy G, I hoop against The Magic Johnson, the one place at Magic Johnson.
Oh,
Shout out
no
to
way.
Quincy.
Really?
Shout out to Quincy. Yeah.
Is he good? Does he have a game or what? And what is this guy?
Shout out to Quincy, man. Shout out. No, I'm just playing. Quincy,
Yeah.
he's cool.
Yeah.
He's definitely a hustle player. He's not a Magic Johnson.
Right.
So they're doing a great job
Yeah.
having him portray it look like he could do that. Because
Right.
when I play against him, he's not doing any of that.
Yeah. Well, there's only one Magic. So.
He get the board and give it to me. Yeah. Let me run it down the court.
Right.
Quincy, you get on the side of it.
Yeah,
And Quincy, he plays like a big guy. He backs people down and he posts them
Yeah.
up. So he does. It's a totally different style.
How tall is he?
Barely taller than me. So if
No,
I'm
get
5'6", he's probably about 5'9".
Yeah, because Magic's 6'9", so they made him
the
look
angles
6'9".
Because when I seen, I said, what in the world?
Yeah.
And the angles that they doing.
Yeah,
And
the guy
other
who
players-
played Kareem too. I mean,
Right.
he's not that tall, right?
Right, he's not that tall.
So yeah, interesting.
People, when they see me in real life, they be like, man, I thought you was taller. I'm like, I get that all the time.
I get that people look at me and they say, "I thought you were younger."
Man,
But that's
I
a
can
whole
see
other
that.
story.
I can see that. I can clearly see that. All right, you know what it's time for? The hot seat.
Okay.
So these are questions that some of my YouTubers, some of my fellow IGers and Facebook people that they ask me to ask,
Oh boy.
my legends. So you don't have to answer any of the questions if you don't want to. Is that right? Is that how it goes, Corey? These Corey. Corey put these together. Shout out to Corey right there behind the camera.
Hi, Corey.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite team?
Favorite team, probably the '85 Lakers.
Ooh, we the 85 Lakers. Do you think they could beat 2004 Shaq and Kobe?
That'd be an interesting matchup.
Ooh, if we can only travel back in time.
Interesting matchup.
Who do you like shooting the most?
Well, I got to go with the Mamba. I mean, he is in front of my lens the most. I have a 1A, 1B. I mean, of course, being around for all of the Jordan era, having Michael in front of my lens his whole career. But of course, I wasn't in Chicago, so I didn't see him every game like I did Kobe. Magic right up there. Shaq is right up there. But got to go with Kobe as number one.
You heard that, Kobe. He got Jordan Felix too, but he said Kobe. Kobe. It's a Kobe thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Best advice you would give someone who wanted to be a photographer.
Well, I get asked this a lot, quite frankly. If you want to be a sports photographer, specifically, is that you just have to keep shooting and shooting. And when you get tired of shooting, you keep shooting more. And, these days, young photographers don't have to worry about buying film. They don't have to worry about getting film developed, having prints made. This is all what I had to worry about. I had to budget my money so I could, buy a few rolls of film and get it developed or developed it in my garage or whatever it was. So now on digital, you can shoot endless amounts of pictures and hone your craft. And the other thing is seek out people like myself and other people whose work you admire, who sort of can mentor you. I mentor a lot of young photographers. I had a photographer at the Laker game last night, a young lady from Seattle who reached out to me, who's starting out her career, and we brought her in, kind of showed her what we do every single night, and that means the world to somebody, and I'm trying to pay that back.
Okay. I can respect that. A man that gives back to the community, because if he didn't get helped, he wouldn't have been able to help someone else.
100% correct.
Oh.
That's right.
Let's see. I pretty much probably know the answer to this. If you can only shoot one athlete, who would it be?
Ooh. Well, it wasn't around for Muhammad Ali, unfortunately. That would have been pretty cool. Again, I got to go back to Kobe. If I would only have Kobe in front of my camera my entire career, that would be the athlete I'd pick.
Boom. It's Kobe again. I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you. Listen. One of your most uncomfortable moments.
Oh, yeah, that is a great question. Goes back to it was probably my first year, first or second year being a professional sports photographer, and I had established a relationship with the Lakers, with the Laker organization. Magic and I were cordial. We weren't really friends yet, and I was hired by Converse to do a poster of Magic, and he was doing a commercial for Converse. The way it works in my world is that the still photography that ends up being ads and goes out to the world is actually sort of an add-on to a video shoot. So he's doing a commercial like at a sound stage, and then they have me come in and have a setup on the side. So when he has like a minute, he'll come over to me, or they're changing cameras, or he's got to change into uniform or whatever. But I had to be set up over here off to the side. And this back in the film days, right? So we're shooting film. I had a stand-in who was basically his same size, same skin tone. And it was a complex shot. The poster was Magic's reach across the world, basically. So you imagine like half of the earth, and you have Magic sort of reaching like from one side of the earth to the other. And we had blocks for him to stand on, all this stuff. And the stand-in did it, and we tested it, and we, did Polaroids in those days, right? So there was
The ones that you.
well, there was there's a film back that went on the back of the camera. The back, you take that off, and you put the Polaroid back on that had a pack of Polaroid in it. And by shooting the Polaroid, you would see what your lighting looks like, and the placement and all that stuff. And that's how you could tweak the photo. So Magic comes into the set. We'd already done the testing. The lighting was set. But, he's not the stand-in. He's the real guy.
Right.
So Magic comes in the set, and, I maybe have 90 seconds to do this thing. And I'm behind the camera, and I say, okay, Magic, this is what I want you to do. Do this move, blah, blah, blah. And he does the move, and then I put take the film back off, put the Polaroid back on, and he goes, whoa, 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 what are you doing, man? And I said, what do you mean what I'm doing? I'm going to do a Polaroid. He goes, no, man. When I come on the set, we don't do Polaroids. He goes, you be ready. And the whole place is like, I said, okay.
The Magic Man said this.
And so no Polaroid back, gave it to the assistant, shot maybe 6 or 8 frames, and that was it. And to this day, I have never shot a Polaroid of Magic Johnson.
So he might have put in a bad word for you. Say, I don't want that guy back on my set.
No, the opposite.
Oh, it was the opposite.
That I came through and I actually produced a great poster. I wish I had it to show you. I don't have that poster.
I was just about to ask that. Where's that poster?
I recently did a shoot with Magic and his entire executive team, and we joked about it. He says he had the whole team set up, and it was during a break, and I obviously was all set up out in the garden, and he comes out, he goes, "You're not going to do a Polaroid, are you, Andy?" And everybody's looking at it like it was just between him and me.
He remembered that inside joke.
It was hilarious, yeah.
Hilarious. He said, you're not going to do it. You remember me, my boy.
Yeah.
Magic remembered me. That was a magical moment.
It was
That's
a
what I would've
magical
said.
moment, yes. But that kind of made the boy into a man at that moment because
that.
I had to step up to the plate and produce.
Like, okay, I'll be ready
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Yeesh. Has anyone yelled at you and said, get that camera out my face?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm not naming names, but yeah.
Name the names.
I will
Name the
I'll
names.
actually name one name because I got nothing to lose on this one.
Hey.
When I was shooting baseball, I was a Dodgers team photographer for 11 years, and I shot a lot of baseball. I used to go down to Anaheim and shoot the American League teams when they came in. And this is when Reggie Jackson was on the Angels, right? And the on-deck circle for the Angels was very close to the photo well. It might have been 6 feet away, right? And I had a fisheye lens, and I remember he was in it was a cool shot. It was in the on-deck circle. He's getting himself ready to go up to bat, and the whole stadium's in the background. I had a fisheye lens, and I reached over, and I was like this, but it was his back. I reached over, and it says Jackson, and the whole thing.
The backside again. Remember the backside from Wayne Gretzky?
And yeah, and he sensed that I was there, and he turned around, and he had some choice words for me.
What did he
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
If you don't get that, what did he say?
Yeah, and then there's another time that when I was working for the Dodgers, and Barry Bonds was with Pittsburgh. Remember before he went
the
to the
Skinny
Giants?
Barry Bonds.
Skinny Barry Bonds. And I was of course tight with all the Dodger players, and this is when Darryl Strawberry played for the Dodgers. So, you imagine it's, batting practice. They got the cage out there, and there's this great moment. Daryl's out there, and Barry Bonds is out there. And, they're leaning on their bats. You've seen this picture a million times, but it's the cage, and it was a cool shot. Same scenario. I kind of inch up on him, and I get down low to take the picture, and Barry Bonds wheels around with his bat, and is that close to my face. And Daryl's like, "No, man, he's cool. He's our guy. He's okay."
So he swung the bat.
He swung he knew it wasn't going to hit me, but he scared the crap out of me.
Hey, get that camera out of here.
And Daryl, we talked about it on my podcast. Daryl, I said, you saved my life that day, or at least my face.
Right, man. Save some of my teeth. Probably knocked out my teeth or something.
Yeah,
Ooh, man. You know what? But then you would have had a big lawsuit, and bam, millionaire.
That's
instantly.
True. Yeah, that would have been a whole different scenario.
See how many times you had opportunities to be
Yeah.
a quick millionaire? You didn't even think of that. God works
That's
in
right.
mysterious ways.
But I got one more story, if you don't mind.
All right, I don't mind.
On that question.
Go ahead.
So imagine 20 years with Kobe behind the scenes in every possible scenario in the inner sanctum with him. He's doing his private workouts, his family time. I was privy to all of that because he trusted me. So we get to his final game. It was April 13th, 2016. I had asked, and he had consented for me to be with him that entire day. His day started in the office, 8 o'clock in the morning in Newport Beach. Guys in the office on a game day, his last game day. He's doing business in the office. Right. I get down there, I'm shooting pictures. He's meeting with his staff. He had a couple of interviews to do. Just normal day. Then he's like, "Okay, let's go." And we get in the car and we drive out to John Wayne Airport and get in the helicopter, which quite sadly was actually the same helicopter that he passed away in. We get in the helicopter. We fly up to L.A. He's so calm. He takes a nap in the 18-minute ride in the helicopter. We land in an office building about 4 blocks from Staples Center, and come down the elevator, and I'm taking pictures this whole time, and get into a car and SUV, and I'm in the back, and he's in the front with the driver, and he's fine, he's not really talking much, but anyway, we make the turn around Figueroa to go onto 11th Street, and I'm taking pictures in the back seat, and I actually had a blimp, which is like a soundproof camera housing, so you couldn't really hear the shutter, and it was quiet. We're in the car, and he's in the car, and then we make that turn, and he just puts his hand back. He goes, "Not now, man. I got to take all this in." And as you remember, everything was "Thank you, Kobe." Every single person's wearing a Kobe jersey.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was just a moment for him that he was speechless. I mean, I felt him take this breath. It was unbelievable that this was happening.
Right.
And that was the only time in our 20 years together he ever asked me not. And he was polite, but he asked me not to take a picture. And I always had a sixth sense of when not to shoot. That's part of my That's sort of my mantra, I
would have thought that would have been a good moment to capture, when he's taking it all in.
Yeah. Well, I got sort of almost there, and then I'd never forget, we made that turn. I was just about, and he's like, put the hand back. That was it.
You got to respect the hand, man. Only person I know who put a hand up was Jamie Foxx. When Kobe put that hand up, I fought Kobe, no disrespect. Well, I put the camera back up.
No, but it just was so poignant. You never saw him really, breathless, or it just was a special moment in time.
Andy, so I got to ask, man. So I see this board behind me, and I know you guys see it too. This look like we're in some type of detective, you got a bullseye. We looking for these guys. What's up?
All we need is some string connected to them.
Right. The bad boys, the criminals, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Well, we change this up all the time. This is our whiteboard behind here that we put all of our top secret, game plan for how we're building this Legends of Sport business. But I'm just kidding. But it's a magnetic. I got it to be purposely, so it's a magnetic board that we change these photos out pretty frequently, honestly.
Do you?
And because I do interviews here on my own podcast, and of course you're here today, so whatever mood strikes me. Today it was kind of a NBA mood, Lakers oriented, Mamba.
Super throwback.
Yeah, that was crazy in Paris. But this picture here is black and white of Kobe in the ice buckets. That's probably my favorite picture of him that I ever took.
Why is that?
Because that is the Mamba mentality in one picture. That's the four pillars of the Mamba mentality in one photo. The backstory was that I was embedded with the team from the 2009-10 season. Phil Jackson and I were doing a book together. So I made all the road trips with them. This was during the long Grammy road trip where they're on the road for like 12, 14 days, playing 10 games on the road. We're in the middle of the road trip, and he was beat up. I mean, we had played the night before in Cleveland. Both his ankles looked like softballs. He had his busted finger in 3 places, which you can see in the coffee cup. And in every arena, Kobe would find some nook and cranny where he could do his pregame ritual, his meditation. He could bring his trainer in. Unfortunately, Madison Square Garden was such a old arena; it didn't have any place for him to go. So he's doing his pregame ritual in the actual locker room. And keep in mind, the Lakers had played the night before in Cleveland. It was a late game, as I remember. We didn't get on the plane till 1:30 in Cleveland. Fly to New York. Got to the hotel. Sun is coming up. It's like 5:30, 5:45 when we get to the hotel, and then they got to play that same day. So in 24 hours, they're playing in 2 different places. A lot of players at that point would have said, "Hey, coach, I need the night off. I'm hurting." But the Mamba would never do that, especially in the Mecca, which is
Rain, hail, sleet, or snow. He going.
Yeah, and Madison Square Garden, he had probably some of his greatest games. So that to me sums everything up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another Mamba story. My man is infinity with him, like the Infinity Stones. You think infinity with him, man. Okay. We're reaching the end of our podcast today with Elevated Game with G. Wayne with a legend, Andy. And before I go, I usually ask this question: when you're gone, what do you want to be remembered for?
Well, luckily, I'll have my photos that people can look at and sort of remember the great moments, especially in the NBA, but maybe in other sports. That'll be my legacy. David Stern said to me way back in the 80s, he said, Andy, your photos are helping to define the era, the Bird Magic era, which, was very affirming back then as a young photographer.
History.
To hear that from your boss. So I just want to be remembered for my body of work, but also for my work ethic, which I got from my dad, and I got it from Magic, and I got it from Pat Riley and Kobe. And that's what I'm trying to sort of instill in this new generation, that, you can be a great photographer, but if nobody wants to work with you, you're going to be taking pictures by yourself.
Attitude.
Yeah. So there's a reason why, I've been in the league now 43 years. There's a reason why the LA Kings is my longest client, 45 years working with them. AEG I'm the director of photography for the arena and the theater, we're coming up to 25 years now. And that just doesn't happen by accident. So it's a lot of things go into the pie, but I want to be remembered for that, for longevity and integrity and a body of work.
You hear that? Spoken like a true Mamba fan. Well, Andy, it's been a pleasure, and it's been great. You've definitely spit out some gems. I know when this comes out, everybody's going to be like, whoa, whoa, I didn't know that. Because there's definitely some stories that I didn't know that, especially with the Oscar De La Hoya, and whatnot. And the Kobe answers, he's 2 for 2. Kobe this, Kobe that. He got to see both, Jordan and Kobe. So there it is. Spoken with Andy, the legend. Thank you again for coming on Elevated Game with G. Wayne. We usually have our sponsor, Vuelo, which is not in the building today, that we give you guys a bottle. I don't want to say a shot, but it's a big bottle that I guess Alex is going to get that to you.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I don't drink, but when I do drink,
Yeah.
and I drink that, it's pretty good.
Well, maybe I'll start drinking.
That's what I said. I don't drink, but when I sipped on something, I'm a sipper. So when I sipped, I said, it's not too bad. Vuelo. I don't always drink, but when I do, it's Vuelo.
Well said, my friend.
Thank you. But thank you again, man. I appreciate you so much. It was
Great
a
to
pleasure.
have you, man. Thanks for coming out my way.
Appreciate you.
Great. jacket behind Magic with the sunglasses.
Yeah, that's Jack
That's
Nicholson.
actually
That's who we're
Jack
talking
Nicholson.
Yeah, that's Jack Nicholson.
And that's my biggest claim to fame is that I got to direct Jack Nicholson.
What?
No, this is true. You want to hear a story?
Man, what?
You got time?
How you direct?
So every year we would do these, standard team photo, but then the Lakers always wanted to do a fun team photo that they could sell to a sponsor and make a poster out of it. That fans all got the poster, So one year we went to the beach. Another year we did this crazy shoot on this boat, And then Pat Riley said, "We're not leaving the building, Andy. You got to come up with something in the building that we can do. We're not even going outside the building." So, I had to kind of rack my brain, like, how can I get the whole team to do something in the building? I thought, well, we'll go to the concession stand, like, it's halftime. And
So that's the real concession?
That's the real concession stand at the Forum. And this is on a game day, after shoot-around. They got into uniform very reluctantly, and the shoot was supposed to be at 11 o'clock, right? Lon Rosen, my dear friend, who was, he was in Winning Time, but Lon is now the CMO of the Dodgers, but he long time marketing guy for the Lakers. Lon said, "Well, we're going to ask Jack to be in the photo," and we told him we're taking the photo at 11 o'clock. Told him what time to be there. Walk up there. Of course, I had all the lighting ready to go. It's like 5 to 11. Get all the guys in place, and Pat Riley's going like this to me. I mean, he didn't have to say anything. He's just like,
let's go.
And so I, start. Jack's not there, right? So I look at Lon. He goes, "Shoot." He goes, "Do it without him." And 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, and I get this on my back. And the guy goes, "You the guy taking the picture?" And I said, "Yeah." And I turn around, it's fucking Jack Nicholson. And he goes, "Where do you want me to stand?"
That sound like
literally what he said.
Where do you want me
Yeah.
to stand?
I said, "Well, we have a spot right here, Jack, for you. You're buying a program from Pat Riley." And that's literally Pat Riley's expression. Like, he couldn't believe that Jack was so he's like selling Pat Riley a program.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of your number one, what are they?
Isn't that the craziest story?
Right, Jack Nicholson, somebody's always there
Yeah.
on the floor.
Yeah.
Wait, so
The whole picture's crazy. Magic's sweeping up. Rambus is taking out the garbage in the back. If you see.
right, I see him with the blue knee brace or
By,
something.
Byron's got his hot dog going.
Kareem and them over there.
Kareem's over there at the cash register. It's
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. The story behind the pictures is always, pictures, they say pictures, it's 1,000 words. My man is 1,000 words in real life. He'll give it to you straight up off the picture.